Hollywood makes frontier gunfights look effortless. Rifles fire endlessly. Ammunition never runs out. Guns stay clean no matter how many shots are fired. None of that reflects reality. On the American frontier, ammunition was fragile, expensive, and uncertain. Powder spoiled in damp weather. Percussion caps failed in humidity. Black powder fouled barrels after just a few shots. Brass stretched and split. Lead deformed, and once you rode beyond town limits, resupply stopped existing. Frontiersmen didn't just shoot ammunition, they managed it. Every round was tracked. Every component mattered. When something failed, it wasn't replaced, it was adapted. Over time, this produced a set of practices that weren't written down in manuals or advertised in catalogs. They were learned through failure, injury, and scarcity. Some were cautious, some were risky, a few were dangerous. All of them were real. This is a breakdown of 15 ammunition hacks that actually worked on the American frontier, ordered from basic adaptations to full system-level thinking. If you want the real mechanics of frontier survival, subscribe to Forged and Forgotten. Number 15, paper patch bullets. Paper patching was a solution to fouling and inconsistency. Bare lid bullets scraped directly against rifling, creating friction and residue that quickly ruined accuracy. Wrapping bullets in thin paper created a sacrificial layer that engaged the rifling while protecting the lead. Accuracy held longer, and barrels stayed usable through more shots. Long-range shooters and buffalo hunters adopted it because every missed shot meant wasted resources. The trade-off was time and preparation. Bullets had to be wrapped evenly, seated carefully, and stored dry. Cold stiffened paper. Heat loosened it. A bad patch ruined the shot. Paper patching didn't create more ammunition. It simply stretched accuracy when cleaning wasn't possible. Number 14, grease cookies and lubricated wads. Black powder fouling hardened quickly and made loading difficult. Grease cookies placed lubrication directly into the firing cycle. Discs of tallow, beeswax, or animal fat melted during firing and softened residue for subsequent shots. Hunters and target shooters used them to extend shooting sessions without stopping to clean. Preparation mattered. Too soft and grease-soaked powder. Too hard and it failed to melt. Dust clung to grease. Cold stiffened it. Heat liquefied it. Grease cookies didn't eliminate fouling. They delayed it long enough to matter. Number 13, rolled paper cartridges. Rolled cartridges combine powder and bullet into a single unit for faster loading. Made from scrap paper, they were twisted, filled, and tied by hand. The shooter bit them open, poured powder, and rammed the bullet with the paper acting as wadding. Soldiers used them extensively, and civilians adopted them where metallic ammunition was scarce. They reduced spillage and sped loading under stress. Their weakness was durability. Paper tore, powder leaked, rain destroyed them. Rolled cartridges were faster than loose powder, but fragile by design. Number 12, combustible cartridges. Combustible cartridges burned completely during firing, eliminating the need to tear paper open. They offered speed and simplicity, especially for mounted use. Cavalry units used them widely, and surplus spread west after the war. Their weaknesses were severe. Moisture caused misfires. Smoldering residue created hangfires. They were single-use and impossible to reload. Storage was difficult. They worked best in controlled conditions and failed quickly in frontier weather. Number 11, salvaging and recasting lead. Lead was never discarded. Fired bullets were recovered from trees, berms, animals, and backstops. Scrap was melted and recast using simple molds. Military camps did this routinely. Civilian hunters carried portable molds. Impurities caused inconsistent bullets. Tin was sometimes added for hardness. Recasting required time and fuel, but turned waste into ammunition. It didn't increase supply, it preserved it. Number 10, improvised shotgun slugs. Shotguns were common on the frontier, but buckshot spread limited their range. When factory slugs weren't available, shooters improvised by loading musket balls, scrap lead, or stacked pellets as a single projectile. Tight wadding was used to seal the bore and control movement. Accuracy was inconsistent and effective range was short. The danger was pressure. Loads seated too tightly could burst barrels. Frontier medical records describe injuries from failed slug experiments. Risky, crude, but sometimes the only option. Number 9, express loads. Express loads used heavier powder charges to increase velocity and impact. Borrowed from British dangerous game hunting, they delivered extreme stopping power at close to medium range. The trade-offs were severe. Recoil was punishing. Barrels wore faster. Brass stretched and failed sooner. Powder supplies vanished quickly. Express loads weren't everyday ammunition. They were specialty rounds used by professionals when a single shot had to end the threat immediately, regardless of long-term damage to the shooter or the gun. Number 8, picket bullets. Picket bullets were long, narrow projectiles built for extreme accuracy. Their length increased rifling engagement, improving stability, and reducing wind drift at long distances. Competitive marksmen and sharpshooters favored them for precision work. They were slow to load and demanded perfectly clean barrels. Casting required careful balance to avoid defects. Pickets were useless for rapid fire or close defense. They existed for one purpose only: delivering accurate shots when distance mattered more than speed. Number 7, thinning powder charges. When powder ran low, shooters reduced charges to stretch supply. Reduced loads worked for small game and close-range use. The danger was squib loads, bullets lodging in barrels. Shooters marked reduced rounds carefully. Accuracy suffered. Reliability dropped. It was rationing, not optimization. Number 6, reduced loads for worn guns. Frontier firearms wore out. Cracks formed, chambers loosened, metal fatigued. Replacing a gun wasn't always possible. Shooters reduced loads to lower pressure and avoid catastrophic failure. Performance dropped sharply. Penetration suffered. Accuracy declined, but unsafe guns stayed functional longer. Number 5, bullet resizing and hand swagging. Caliber variations forced shooters to resize bullets manually. Using dies or simple plates, bullets were hammered to proper diameter. Skilled shooters reshaped noses and bases to match chambers precisely. Poor resizing ruined accuracy. Good resizing made mismatched ammunition usable when replacements didn't exist. Number 4, duplex and multi-projectile loads. Some shooters stacked multiple bullets into a single cartridge for close-range stopping power. Duplex loads increased hit probability under stress. Pressure risks were extreme. Accuracy vanished beyond short distances. Guns failed when loads were misjudged. Duplex loads were desperation tools, not standard practice. Number 3, reloading until brass failure. On the frontier, fired brass was never waste. Shooters resized, reprimed, and reloaded the same cases repeatedly, sometimes dozens of times. Each firing stretched the metal, and each resizing weakened it further. Over time, cracks formed at the neck or base. Experienced reloaders inspected every case, feeling for thin spots or splits. Some tracked reload cycles, others pushed cases until they failed. Reloading turned a limited supply of brass into a renewable resource that kept rifles firing long after factory ammunition was gone. Number 2, component standardization. Groups that survived long-term scarcity standardized everything. Calibers, bullet molds, powder charges, and tools were shared so components could move between shooters. Lead, brass, and bullets were pooled instead of hoarded. If one man ran short, another could resupply him instantly. Standardization reduced waste, simplified repairs, and prevented compatibility problems. It wasn't about performance. It was about flexibility. Groups that standardized could absorb losses and keep shooting long after individuals running unique setups were forced to stop. Number 1, ammunition as a closed-loop system. The most effective frontier ammunition strategy wasn't a trick. It was a system. Lead was salvaged and recast. Brass was reused until failure. Powder was rationed and measured precisely. Loads were adjusted to conserve supplies. Tools were carried to maintain the cycle. Nothing was wasted. Shooters who survived scarcity didn't react to shortages. They planned for them. Every hack worked together, turning ammunition from a consumable into a managed system that lasted as long as discipline held. The American frontier wasn't won by men with unlimited ammunition or perfect equipment. It was survived by people who understood limits and worked inside them. Every round mattered. Every component was reused, reshaped, or rationed until it physically failed. These ammunition practices weren't clever tricks. They were systems built under pressure, refined through mistakes, and passed along because they worked when nothing else did. Hollywood shows endless gunfire. History shows discipline. The men who lasted weren't the ones who shot the most. They were the ones who managed what they had better than everyone else. Lead was recovered. Brass was reused. Powder was measured with intent, not guesswork. Nothing was wasted because nothing could be replaced easily. If you're here for how things actually functioned, the trade-offs, the risks, and the systems that kept people alive, subscribe to Forged and Forgotten. Like the video, share it with someone who appreciates real history, and stay tuned. There's a lot more the frontier tried to bury.